In the last episode, we discussed super artificial intelligence, SAI, and how machines could one day surpass human intelligence. We explored the exciting potential of SI and its risks and ethical challenges. Today, we'll dive into another mind-blowing technology that's already starting to transform lives: brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. Imagine being able to control machines or communicate with others just by thinking. BCIs could make that possible. In this episode, we'll explore what BCIs are, how they work, and the incredible ways they could change the future of communication, healthcare, and human potential. 1. What are brain-computer interfaces, BCIs? Let's start with the fundamentals. A brain-computer interface, or BCI, is a system that allows direct communication between your brain and a computer or machine. But how does this work? It's all about neurons, the cells in your brain that send signals to each other to control everything from your thoughts to your movements. A BCI reads these signals and translates them into commands that a computer or device can understand. This means that with a BCI, you could potentially control a computer, robotic arm, or even a car, just by thinking. The science behind BCI. Your brain is an incredibly complex organ made up of billions of neurons, which are responsible for transmitting electrical signals. Every time you think about something or decide to move your hand, for example, your neurons fire off these tiny electrical impulses. A BCI captures these signals using sensors placed on your scalp or implanted in your brain. Once the BCI picks up these signals, a computer processes them and translates them into a command. For instance, if you think about moving a cursor on a screen, the BCI picks up the corresponding brain signals, decodes them, and moves the cursor as if you had moved it with a mouse. This concept might sound like science fiction, but it's already happening in real life. 2. How do BCIs work? Now that we've introduced what BCIs are, let's dive deeper into how they actually work. BCIs rely on your brain's electrical activity, but capturing and interpreting these signals isn't easy. The signals are incredibly tiny and can be hard to isolate from the background noise of other brain activity. Here's where technology comes into play. Sensors placed on your scalp or inside your brain can detect the specific patterns of activity that relate to your thoughts and movements. Types of BCIs. Non-invasive versus invasive. There are two main types of BCIs: non-invasive and invasive. Non-invasive BCIs. Non-invasive BCIs use electrodes placed on the surface of your scalp to detect brain signals. This method doesn't require surgery, making it safer, but the signals are weaker because they have to pass through your skull. Even so, non-invasive BCIs are already making waves in the world of technology. One exciting example is a headset created by the company Emotiv, which allows users to control a computer or drone using only their thoughts. Think about how cool that is. You could fly a drone just by thinking about it. Invasive BCIs, on the other hand, involve surgically implanting electrodes directly into the brain. This method provides much more precise readings because the electrodes are placed closer to the neurons. Invasive BCIs are often used in medical research and offer life-changing potential for people with disabilities. For example, researchers are developing BCIs that can help people who are paralyzed control robotic limbs simply by thinking about moving their arm or leg. A game changer for healthcare. Imagine someone who has been paralyzed for years, suddenly able to move a robotic arm or leg, regaining control over their environment in ways they never thought possible. This is exactly what invasive BCIs are making possible, giving hope to millions of people worldwide who face mobility challenges. 3. Real-world applications of BCIs. BCIs aren't just theoretical, they're already being used in groundbreaking ways. Let's look at some real-world applications of BCIs that are already changing lives. Helping people with paralysis. One of the most exciting uses of BCIs is helping people who are paralyzed regain control over their environment. For example, a man named Nathan Copeland, who was paralyzed from the chest down after a car accident, was able to control a robotic arm using only his thoughts. This was made possible by a BCI that connected directly to his brain, allowing him to perform tasks like shaking hands or picking up objects. Just think about the freedom that gives someone who hasn't been able to move for years. It's nothing short of incredible. BCIs for communication. BCIs are also opening up new possibilities for communication, especially for people who can't speak due to conditions like ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, or stroke. Some BCIs allow these individuals to communicate by typing out words on a screen, using only their brain signals. They imagine moving their hand to type, and the BCI interprets their brain signals to make it happen. This technology is still in its early stages, but it's already giving people who have lost their ability to speak a new way to communicate with their loved ones. A vision of the future. Thought-based communication. Now, imagine taking this concept to the next level. In the future, BCIs might allow us to communicate directly from brain to brain, without ever needing to speak or type. You could send thoughts, ideas, or even emotions directly to another person's mind. This could revolutionize how we communicate, speeding up the process and making it much more intuitive. 4. BCIs in healthcare and rehabilitation. One of the most exciting areas where BCIs are making a difference is in healthcare, particularly in helping people recover from injuries or regain abilities they thought were lost forever. Neuroprosthetics, robotic limbs, controlled by the mind. Let's talk about neuroprosthetics, robotic limbs that are controlled directly by the brain using a BCI. For people who have lost a limb, this technology can provide a new level of independence. Imagine being able to move a robotic arm or leg simply by thinking about it, just like you would move your natural limbs. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right now. Case study. Robotic arm controlled by thought. In one case, a woman who was paralyzed from the neck down was able to control a robotic arm using a BCI. She could grasp objects, pour a drink, and even feed herself, all by thinking about the action she wanted to perform. This kind of technology is life-changing, giving people who are paralyzed new ways to interact with the world. Stroke rehabilitation with BCI. BCIs are also being used to help people recover from strokes. After a stroke, some people lose the ability to move parts of their body, but BCIs can help retrain the brain to control those muscles again. In some studies, stroke patients have been able to regain control of their hand movements by using a BCI that stimulates their muscles in response to brain signals. Over time, the brain relearns how to control the hand, leading to improved mobility. 5. Enhancing human abilities with BCIs. While BCIs are currently being used to help people with disabilities, there's also potential for BCIs to enhance the abilities of healthy individuals. This is where things start to get really exciting and futuristic, boosting memory and learning. Imagine if you could enhance your memory or learn new skills instantly just by using a BCI. Researchers are already working on BCIs that could help improve memory, which could be incredibly useful for people with conditions like Alzheimer's disease. But it could also be used by healthy individuals who want to boost their memory for everyday tasks. Now think about learning new skills. What if, instead of spending months or years learning a new language, you could just download the knowledge directly into your brain? Some scientists believe that with advanced BCIs, this could one day be possible. The idea of plugging into a BCI and instantly gaining new knowledge or skills, like how to fly a plane or play a musical instrument, is mind-blowing, but it might not be as far off as we think. Expanding human senses BCIs could also give us new senses or enhance the ones we already have. For example, some BCIs are being developed to allow blind people to see by sending visual information from a camera directly to the brain. But it doesn't stop there. What if BCIs could allow us to perceive things like infrared light or electromagnetic fields, things that humans can't normally sense? This could give us superhuman abilities, allowing us to experience the world in ways we never thought possible. 6. Ethical considerations and challenges. As with any powerful technology, BCIs come with their own set of ethical challenges. While the benefits are clear, there are also important questions we need to address to ensure that BCIs are used responsibly and ethically. Privacy concerns. One of the biggest concerns with BCIs is privacy. If a BCI can read your thoughts, what happens to your mental privacy? Could someone hack into your brain and access your private thoughts without your permission? While this might sound like a far-fetched fear, It's a real concern as BCIs become more advanced. Developers are already working on ways to secure BCIs and ensure that people's mental data is protected. But this is an area that will need careful attention as the technology evolves. Consent and control. Another ethical issue is consent and control. If someone is using a BCI, how do we make sure they are always in control of what the device does? What if the BCI starts sending signals that the user doesn't want or understand? Ensuring that BCIs respect the autonomy of the user is crucial, especially as we move toward more advanced applications of the technology. BCIs and human identity. BCIs also raise questions about what it means to be human. If we can enhance our brains with technology, does that change who we are as individuals? What happens if we can upgrade our cognitive abilities through a BCI? Do we become something more than human? These are deep philosophical questions that we'll need to think about as BCIs become more integrated into our lives. 7. The future of BCIs. What's next? Looking ahead, the future of BCIs is incredibly exciting. As the technology improves, BCIs could become more affordable, accessible, and integrated into everyday life. In the next few decades, it's possible that we could see BCIs being used in schools, workplaces, and even homes, enhancing human abilities and improving communication across the globe. BCIs in everyday life. Imagine a world where everyone has access to a BCI. You could control your smart home just by thinking, communicate instantly with others, and even enhance your own memory and learning capabilities. BCIs could become as common as smartphones are today, opening up a world of possibilities for how we live and interact with technology. The role of AI in advancing BCIs. Artificial intelligence will play a crucial role in advancing BCIs. AI is already being used to decode brain signals and translate them into actions. But as AI becomes more advanced, it will make BCIs even more powerful and efficient. In the future, AI could help BCIs learn and adapt to each user's unique brain activity, making the technology more personalized and effective. Conclusion. In this episode, we've taken a deep dive into the fascinating world of brain-computer interfaces. We've explored how BCIs work, how they're already being used to help people with disabilities regain control over their lives, and the incredible potential they hold for enhancing human abilities in the future. We've also discussed the ethical challenges that come with this powerful technology and looked at what the future might hold for BCIs in everyday life. Next time, we'll explore the cutting-edge fields of nanotechnology and biotechnology and how AI is helping to shape these industries for the future. Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Next Era: What Comes After AI. If you found this episode interesting, make sure to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for more exciting discussions about the future of technology.